This facility has drugged me unconscious since the abuser, Rita Hughes, hit me and stole my phone, and the director of nursing received stolen property and withheld my phone from me to keep it away from me so I couldn't call police, and I believe the intent was to destroy evidence. Anyway, I've been drugged unconscious, and during the short period I was conscious yesterday, which was Tuesday, I think the 25th or 26th, it was Wednesday the 25th yesterday. Today's Thursday the 26th. During the time that I was awake, my breasts hurt, but I was so drugged with something that made it so hard to stay awake and made me feel so overwhelmed and unable to talk and apathetic, whatever the drugs were that they gave me. I didn't even look to see what the injuries were, but here's what they were. Here's what they are on my right breast. All of this horrible redness and cuts. Oh my God, it hurts. Oh. There are cuts underneath my breast and on the side of my body. Oh my God, it hurts. And you can see all these different cuts of various depths where they, I guess, were practicing how deep to cut. They've been doing what I can only describe as some form of plastic surgery on me. I guess somebody here intends to become a plastic surgeon or was a plastic surgeon, or anyway, they've injected things into my face, into my body, made incisions, changed my appearance quite drastically with incisions and injections of substances. My face, for example, you can see is all puffed out right here. That's new. That's been done either yesterday or the day before. And there are just, and then my left shoulder, during the brief time that I was conscious yesterday, I discovered all kinds of damage to my left shoulder that they've done. The skin was all wrinkled weirdly, and I can't tell if it's still like that today. Until I look at this video, I won't really be able to tell. But this is what my neck looks like today, and you can see where they put fluids into my neck regularly. It's not as big today. They made this injection of stuff here to create this fake jowl. They did the same thing on the other side. know that gels are ordinary, but they don't appear overnight like these did, or within a few days that they had me drugged unconscious, and then I wake up and suddenly my face is a different shape than it's ever been in my whole life. It doesn't happen like that unless somebody intervenes. And of course, they've injected stuff into the end of my nose and made it much. There's a whole extra lot of substance that they injected at the end of my nose and misshaped my nose. They made this, whatever this part of the nose is called, they made a lump in there, and they changed the shape of both of my nostrils. There are incisions in my eyelids. They injected a pool of wax under this eye, and a bunch of them above my eyebrows and between my eyes. You can see lumps from them. And they've been messing with my, I wake up and my vision's all blurry because they put grease in my eyes. And I know these things sound impossible to believe. It's hard for me to believe that anybody would be capable of thinking of doing this to anybody, let alone actually doing it to a human being. I mean, you would think that somebody would have to really hate someone to do this, but I haven't done anything to anybody in here that anybody should hate me. The woman that I used the B word with a couple days ago, and then she hit me and stole my phone. The reason I used that word is she's called me that repeatedly. For months, she's been shoving me and hitting me and slamming doors in my face. And the first time it happened, I demanded, "What is your name?" And she said, "Shut up, B-I-T-C-H." And then another time, she saw me photographing her, and she said, "You get that out of my face, I'm going to F you up, B-I-T-C-H." And that's just her routine way of speaking to me. And so when I used that word with her the other day, you know, everybody has a limit, and she pushed me to mine. She came up behind me. Now, what a physical therapist was doing coming up to a food cart when there were 2 CNAs, certified nursing assistants, standing waiting for her to get out of the way because it was their job to deliver meals to patients. She came over there just to abuse me. And the way that you can tell that is that she didn't actually carry the trays away. She had a pole in her hand to be used with a physical therapy patient, and she saw me at the food cart, and she saw another opportunity to shove me around, and that's what she did. She slammed the door. All I was trying to do was get something off of my own meal tray. And she slammed the door, and then she just got up right shoving me. You couldn't see in the video of her like bumping me with her hip and shoving me, but you can see I didn't move. I stood my ground, and you can see how close she kept getting to me and how she waved that pole at me when she was reaching down and getting a tray. And you have to use 2 hands to get those meal trays. They're heavy, and she's trying to hold on to a pole and lift a tray, and she hands one to a CNA and points for her to walk away with it. And then there was another CNA that was getting a meal tray who is the only person that would have seen what happened. Because on the video you can see there's nobody else in the hallways except for nurse, Crystal, who was standing in the doorway with her back to us. So when that woman, Rita Hughes, hit me multiple times and stole my phone, the only person that could have seen was that one CNA that was getting a food tray. And from the look on her face in the video, she didn't want any part of this. You can just see apprehension in her face. You know, I didn't see it at the time because I wasn't looking at her, but in the video you can see that she looks stressed, like she knows what's going to happen. And especially, I wouldn't ordinarily ever call anybody the B word. I've always been kind and polite until people just have abused me and harassed me so much in here that there's no use being kind and polite with people that treat you that way. And it was a silly thought of mine and very naive of me to think that with a video recording her, that might actually open some dialogue with her. I realize now it was silly of me, but I honestly thought that if she saw what it felt like to be called that B word, maybe she'd stop and think, gee, I shouldn't be calling this patient that. Of course, she's just generally abusive, so I kind of knew it wouldn't make a difference. But then again, I thought she might actually say, don't call me that, that's disrespectful. And then I would have said to her, well, you call me that all the time, and I don't want to be called that either. It is disrespectful. That was kind of how, I guess that was sort of what I was thinking. But I sure wasn't expecting her to hit me on video and then grab my camera and run off with it. And then at the very end of that video, when I get my camera back from the director of nursing, because I use, you're legally required to take back your own property. And I was demanding it back from the director of nursing again and again for more than 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And finally, I just grabbed hold of one end of my phone, didn't touch her, and I yanked on it, and she was holding it. She's saying to me, I'm going to give it to you, but she's holding on to it for dear life until I finally get it. And then the second that I get my phone back from her hand, the social worker, Remy, who claims to be the patient's advocate, says, she's going to call the police. And I said, you're damn right I'm going to call the police. But then the next dose of medicine knocked me out, and I've been knocked unconscious since. So they've done everything they can to keep me from reporting the abuse. I uploaded the video to Millbrae Abuse YouTube channel very quickly before the hacker had a chance to delete it, which he's done. This facility employs a hacker who has hacked into my first phone that got vandalized so badly that my daughter bought me a new phone. And now they've vandalized that phone. It's a brand new, expensive phone. But he's hacked into both of my phones. He's hacked into my smart TV. He's stolen data and personal information and deleted photographs and files and a lot of my documentation of the abuse in here and a lot of my diaries that were in my phone. And, that's big-time crime. The penalties are really severe for what he's done. Well, then again, the penalties are really severe for elder abuse and all the other crimes that they're committing in here. And they need to be held accountable. This place is a criminal organization. And you saw in that video that when that woman, Rita Hughes, abused me and stole my phone, all that the director of nursing cared about was Tell me what happened, tell me what happened. She refused to give me my phone. First, what happened first, she kept saying and holding onto my phone because she wanted to come up with a story to back up her employees' lies. And that's what they've done every time I've called 911 about abuse. They've circled wagons, management, and employees that were not present pretend that they were present and they saw what happened and there was no abuse, and this has happened again and again. But not this time. They didn't get away with it this time because I uploaded the video before their hacker deleted it. And you can see, it's all there on video. The director of nursing, she asked me what happened, but she was also stopping me from having my phone and calling the police. And her only interest was in coming up with a story to cover up crimes and protect the facility from accountability. It's a conspiracy. You saw on video the director of nursing and the social worker and that employee trying to come up with a conspiracy to claim that I hit the woman that hit me. Video doesn't show me hitting her, it shows her hitting me and stealing my phone. And the question would also be asked, why would she steal my phone if I hit her? You know, none of her story made sense, but the video tells the truth, and it shows what happens every time here. Management covering up crimes of its employees and committing crimes against patients because receiving stolen property, the director of nursing knew that's my phone. She took it. She withheld it. Anyway, I'm tired of talking about this.